Xilonen, good thing you're here. I'm wondering if I can...
Oh, the shelf on the left, second row down, first X on the right. That one's yours. And the garden hoe belongs to Ignal, and the hammer is Pakal's, so make sure you take the one that's yours.
I haven't even said why I'm here. But looks like you're about to head out for a break.
Yes, but I am going to take it right here. The temperature is just perfect today.
Really? But doesn't it feel a lot hotter than usual? I really don't want to stay out in this heat.
Exactly. In hot weather like this, customers don't tend to stick around and talk when they're coming to place orders or pick up the goods.
I see. Oh, here comes another customer. I'll just leave you to it then, and pick up my axe.
Sure, sounds good to me.
Hey, xilonen!
Oh, traveler, Paimon! We meet again. Oh, you two seem to be in good spirits. How's your Pilgrim's Chronicle been? Run into any... Oh, good. It was also my first time receiving a Pilgrim's Chronicle, even though there are still a lot of things that could go wrong, so I would...
Huh? So...
Well, less than the chances of Mualani accidentally falling off a spiritway, I'd say.
Oh, well, that definitely would never happen.
I found the xilonen. Thanks a lot. By the way, Nichka's birthday's coming up real soon. Are you planning to visit?
I've prepared a gift, and was just getting...
You're not planning on giving the kid a full set of pliers again, are you? Or, let me guess, woodworking tools?
Oh, yeah, I make these myself, and it's a lot of work. But if you like a set, I can make some time and forge one for you.
Great! We often camp out in the wild, but a set of Shilonen's tools would make pitching a tent and starting a bonfire a whole lot easier.
Well, still, I won't be giving Nichka any tools this year. She wrote me a letter saying that she'd like a copy of To Kill the Brave. The book is not what you call a bestseller, but luckily, I have a few copies in my collection. They were really old editions that were published a long time ago, but they should still be readable.
Children her age love fairy tales. Huh. Wait. What did I bring her again?
Oh, it is quite hot today. Seems you're about to pass out from the heat. Do you even remember?
My memory can't be this bad. It's just these last few days.
Well, in that case, why don't you use the blaze gem inscription you have as a memo to engrave some important... After all, that inscription will never wear out, and it's easy to carry.
You do have a point, but my inscription is almost already full. No. I engraved some wishes on my blaze gem inscription. You know, just some dreams that I have for the future. Even though Tasoli has said that from an aesthetic point of view, it would be best for people... This blaze gem inscription was still made by a name engraver, the forger of ancient names themselves. Everyone thinks that the inscription she made might have some wondrous powers. So, many people who bought blaze gem inscriptions engraved their wishes and dreams on them, in hopes that they would come true.
Sounds kinda like a wish granter. But if you do that, won't everyone be able to see your wishes and dreams?
Don't worry. We usually ask Tasoli to add... With her method, the light must be at a certain angle. Without the right angle of lighting, the blaze gem inscription...
That's true. In the end, a blaze gem inscription is essentially just making wishes to it is like shouting into an echoing valley. But using it as a journal for your wishes is also fine. Carrying them with you and taking... Well, as long as you don't suddenly change your mind and want to take your wishes back, that is. These things are... And I don't think anyone would willingly part with it either. They're not cheap, and still, it's really strange. Given Auntie's skill, how could it take so long for her to make one? Oh, well, I hope someone didn't give her an idea of making fewer and selling for more.
It's true. Chevin would totally... At least she and little Nachka are better off now. And won't have to worry about... I was really worried about their family at first. And was even planning to send them some... Huh? what was I planning?
All right, if you stay out in the heat for any longer, I'm afraid even the inscription won't be able to save your...
Right. Right. What's going on?
So you'll be going to Nechika's birthday party too, xilonen?
Oh, yeah, sure, but I didn't expect you to know Tosoli too. Oh, so that's how you met her. She even wants to use volcanic crystal as a forging material. Guess she's really pulling out all the stops for her daughter. Then let's just go and ask. Come on.
Huh? Wait a second. Our birthday gift. If we ask Nechika, then she'll know what gift we'll be getting.
But if you don't ask her, then how will you know what kind of Here's another idea. Perhaps you can also give her a storybook based on what she wrote in her letter. That might be a good option.
But shouldn't we give it a little more thought? If we all give her books, xilonen, have you really never asked her what she would like the most?
Unfortunately, no. Nechika's illness has kept flaring up over the past few years. Apparently, she couldn't do anything during that time. It wasn't until recently that she started to recover from her... Anyway, there's no need to overthink it. Worst case scenario, I can split the book into 2 volumes, and we can each give her one.
Yeah, even though it would ruin the surprise, we could at least get her something though. Anyway, could you tell us a bit more about the book that you're getting?
Well, it's a little difficult to explain. You see, there are actually... The premise of the book is pretty straightforward. It's basically about a set of twin brothers working to defeat a demon lord. But after defeating the demon lord, the older brother, Tequil, discovers that the king's spirit has possessed his younger brother, Remak. In the ending of the original story, the older brother kills his younger brother to defeat the demon lord, before jumping into a volcano. I remember there was one line that was super popular at the time. If I still remember right, after being possessed by the goddess Coatlicue, Remak said, "I do not wish to see your blood be reduced to ash, but I have seen the light of your heart and spirit. Remember my name, brother. As long as you remember me, I will never have left." The other version was released only recently. The author heard a suggestion from someone and suddenly decided to try and make a stake in the fairy tale market, so the story was revised. In the revised version, the brothers killed the demon lord together and both survived. According to the author, this gave the story a happy ever after kind of ending. However, the revised version was not well received. After a month on the market, it had hardly sold any copies and the books were collecting dust on the store shelves. The store owners desperately tried to get rid of the book and have resorted to all sorts of promotions and discounts to sell it. Even now, the only edition of To Kill the Brave you can find in the market is the newer one, whereas the older edition is nearly impossible to find. Anyway, I couldn't bring myself to give such a poorly rated book to Nechika, so I spent a few days looking and managed to find a few copies of the old edition in a warehouse. I picked out a copy that looked relatively new and wrapped it up as a present for Nechika. If you're interested, I can give you this extra copy to read. The pages are pretty old, though, so... Oh, and here's a copy of the newer edition, too. They gave me a free copy when I went...
So that's how they're trying to sell off the book. Could it really be that bad? Even Paimon's curious now. Okay, but you'll have to carry Paimon for a while. Once Paimon's done reading...
Let's get going. Tlasoli lives pretty far from the tribe, so it'll...
Go on now, Yengu.
Hey, Tlasoli!
Oh, what a surprise. It even...
Oh, it's been a while since I received Nechka's letter. She wanted a copy of There are several editions of the book in Natlan, and I wasn't sure which version. I asked a messenger from the Scions of the Canopy. It seems this softcover edition is one of the...
You haven't changed a bit. Let's go inside. I was just boiling some chocoatl, so you can all... Xilonen used to love drinking chocoatl. When she was little, you were already a big girl by the time I finally had my Nechka. Oh,
Auntie, let's... Traveler, please help me get her into the house.
Oh, Paimon will help too! Be good, Yangu, and don't get in the way.
All right, let's get indoors. Watch your step.
sorry. Nechka's illness has been flaring up recently. I suddenly started to feel dizzy in the sun. Have a seat. I'll fetch you a few cups of chocoatl.
Oh, I've already brought them over. This cup's for you, Auntie. And these are for you, too.
Chocolatl? What does it taste like?
Oh, don't worry. Auntie always adds...
The last time you came to visit, you were still just a kid. But now you're a pillar of the Children of Echoes. No, of all Natlan even.
Oh, well, it's all thanks to the drinks I had here and the books I happened to read.
We heard that you two are from the same tribe.
When I was little, my parents were always talking about how skilled Auntie was at forging ancient names, and the moment I became idle at home, they would toss me into Auntie's workshop to watch and learn.
Then I would have your parents go back, boil you a pot of chocoatl, and...
Yeah, and then I would drink and listen to you banging away with your tools in the workshop. But eventually, she moved out of the tribe to find some more space, and I didn't have the chance to visit again after that.
But why did you seem so familiar with the place when you went to the kitchen for the drinks just now?
Because the layout of this place is identical to her old house. Let me see. Yeah. That should be Nechka's bedroom then.
That's right. I remember you used to, but you're all grown up now. Even if you wanted to live here, I'm afraid you've already outgrown Nechka's bed. That's how Nechka sees xilonen too. Whenever she's feeling better, she always asks me when her pen pal sister will be coming to visit.
Well, yeah, I'm here now, and even brought a gift as an apology. I'll leave the book here.
You said Nechka asked you for the book? I hope it wasn't too much trouble to get. Really, I'm surprised that she even asked you for a present. When she's at home, she'd even ask me for permission to eat some snacks. Maybe I've been too strict with her.
Oh, really? Well, I'd say I wasn't able to help her when she was sick, and I didn't even come and visit her that many times. Well,
Don't be too hard on yourself, xilonen. You have great responsibilities as the name engraver of the tribe. We both know the responsibilities on your shoulders also became far heavier when
You just had more important things to tend to, Auntie. No one in the tribe blames you. We all know that Nechka needs her mother's care.
But that doesn't change the fact that I gave up on my work. And even now, I'm sorry to leave you to shoulder all the
Oh.
Ooh, why so somber all of a sudden?
Oh, relax, Auntie. I can handle the work. But once Nechka is back on her feet, you should get back to work. You'll be the one who's busy then. And I'll be sitting at the side drinking chocoatl and cheering.
If that day really comes, you can have as much chocoatl as you like. If you asked me before, I wouldn't have even been able to talk about it. But now that she's gradually recovering, I've also gained some courage to face what happened back then. Nechka's illness actually originates from the Abyss. That night, I was in the tribe, having a Before we could finish our discussion, the alarm started to ring outside. A horde of monsters. I joined the fray as well. And it wasn't until the monsters were repelled that I got back home with some guards from the tribe. I can't remember how long I spent searching for her. Maybe for 2 or 3 days. She was holding a dried up embercore flower in her hand, and there were traces of abyssal corruption around her wounds. I know. It was all my fault. Before the incident, Nachka had asked if I could forge an ancient name for her. Work was busy at the time, so I told her that if she could find an embercore flower, I would use it as material to forge her an ancient name. Oh, Nachka, my daughter, my Nachka. I was holding her in my arms, but no matter how many times I called her name, she wouldn't open her eyes and look at me. I was the one who decided to move my workshop to the outskirts of our tribe for work. And I was the one who left her home alone. Oh, my daughter.
Whoa, hey! She already has the strength to write letters now, doesn't she? Well, xilonen has even brought her a gift.
Sorry. I just can't control myself. Phew. All right. It's not. I asked someone to buy some ingredients for me. So why don't you stay for dinner tonight? I'll make some shrimp bisque, grilled fish and mint sauce, and tower tacos.
We'll help. That sounds like a lot to make, and we don't want you to tire yourself out.
Thank you both, but don't worry. It's just a few dishes. You three just need to make sure everything gets eaten up.
Oh, we haven't had anything to eat yet, so don't worry. We'll make sure there are no leftovers.
Ah, it just occurred to me that xilonen likes to eat cheesy crab hot pot. Why don't I make that instead of the grilled fish and mint sauce? I remember you don't like picking out fish bones.
Nah, both are fine with me. I've learned to just chew up the fish bones now.
Oh, come on now. If you don't want to pick out the bones, I can just take them out for you. Anyway, for dessert, would you like a cup of grain fruit or chocolate?
Cup of grain fruit!
How about a cup of grain fruit mixed with chocolate?
Okay, got it. I'll go start cooking, but could you do me a favor in the meantime? I ordered a bunch of ingredients, and they should be here any minute now. Would you go check by the door and— Come on, xilonen. Stop lying around. You shouldn't—
Hey, I'm not a kid anymore, you know. You don't have to worry about my appetite.
That's beside the point. If you don't watch out for your health while you're still young, then when you get older, you'll—
All right. I'm getting up.
We'll go check on the ingredients with xilonen. It isn't far, so it shouldn't take us long.
that kid.
Take it easy.
No one's come to deliver the ingredients yet. Paimon thought we'd see someone come flying down on a Yunkasaur as soon as we came out.
A messenger from the Scions of the Canopy wouldn't be flying here. They usually come climbing down the cliffs nearby. No need to look. There isn't anyone on the cliffs.
I just saw a ghost. Hey, you there!
Oh, are you the one who's supposed to deliver the ingredients?
Ingredients? Are you kidding? I was nearly eating myself. Never mind that now. Those monsters are...
xilonen, Whoa, she's already gone up to fight the monsters? Let's go help her out!
Solidify!
Gotcha. Game's up. Thumbs over. Busted.
All right, that should be it for the monster. Oh, it also seems we're in good.
Strange, we didn't see any monsters on the way here.
Yeah, right. I use this road to deliver goods all the time. And it's the main road in and out of the tribe, so people often come here to clear out, and I don't know what happened, but it seems like all the monsters around here have... Tlisoli doesn't even forge ancient names anymore. So why can't... If she comes back, Nachka will even be able to find some playmates. She's so young and, Nachka's playmates. No, wait, I feel like my kids have played with her before. They've even told me about Nechka's favorite game. If strange. I always remember.
Look at that! He has a Blaze Gem inscription too!
You should go back to the tribe. It seems like you had quite the scare today. I'll carry these bags, and you two can carry the rest.
Huh? Oh, sure.
If you say so. Thank you so much. I guess today's just a really bad day for me to go outside.
That's so weird. Paimon's not sure how to say it, but she's gonna.
Once you live long enough, you'll eventually... Let's bring the ingredients back. Otherwise... Bring it! Hear the echoes of the valley! There is no escape!
Quietly now. Things are about to get dicey. Gotcha.
Stabilize! Yes, you are. Right, what? Qualified after all.
Bring it!
Ah, you're finally back. What took you so long?
Oh, yeah, we, ran into some...
All right. As long as everything's okay now.
Whoa, there's so much tasty food!
They were all pretty simple dishes to make. Don't be shy. Dig in, everyone.
But Paimon can't reach that dish! Could you give Paimon some?
Ooh, yeah. Can I get an...
You're done already? Do you
Of course! Didn't I say that I'd chew up the fish bones? I'll have just one more fish and leave the rest for Nechka.
It's okay. Just go ahead and eat all you'd like. Nechka can't eat these dishes anyway. Her body is too weak to digest these kinds of things. I'll just...
Oh no. But Paimon thought she'd already.
Injuries caused by the abyss cannot be undone. The doctor said the fact that she's stable is already quite a miracle. But it's okay. Nechka can talk to me now and can even hold my hand. That's more than I could ask for, even if she will never again know that I am her mother. The doctor said the abyss has had an irreversible effect on Nechka's soul. She's lost all her memories from before she was injured. The doctor also said this sort of memory loss isn't like simply forgetting something. Rather, she can no longer remember anything from before that fateful day.
Huh?
You know about the woven scrolls that the Masters of the Night Wind use to record... Well, generally speaking, forgetting things is like when the woven scrolls would gradually start to fade. As long as you repaint and weave the threads again, the faded memories will come back to life. But the case of Nechka's memory loss is as if her woven scroll had been cut in two, and the portion of the past was burnt to ashes. The books she loved to read, the flowers she took joy to grow, and the time she spent in this house were all cut off by the abyss, and can never be retrieved again. As one example of that, Nechka now only sees me as a strange, unfamiliar auntie who claims to be her mother. She's a good kid, and doesn't want to upset this lady who's been taking care of her so much, so she still calls me Mom. But I've always had a feeling that she's constantly wondering about things like, where is her real mother? Why is she stuck here in this house? Was she abandoned? Nechka really has no idea that her real mother is right in front of her, and has never left.
So you plan on recreating Nechka's woven scroll all by yourself?
What do you mean?
Or should I say, you've already started reweaving that scroll long ago? The delivery guys. I saw it hanging from his waist, so I asked to borrow it from him. Don't worry, I'll return the inscription to him once we've figured everything out. These things aren't cheap, after all.
When did you know?
Yeah, I noticed it back when Blaze Gem inscriptions suddenly became popular among the tribe. It was then that I also noticed that everyone wearing Blaze Gem... Traveler, you've picked up on it too, haven't you? Accessories made using ancient names forging techniques. For what's only supposed to be a pretty souvenir, this inscription contains a phlogiston engraving with a truly overkill level of complexity. The shapes and patterns of these engravings are also identical to that of an ancient name. By making just a few slight adjustments to the layout and connections of the main pattern, you can pretty much qualify this blaze gem inscription as a bona fide ancient name. And yet, you've never told anyone about these engravings and the blaze gem inscriptions that can be activated at any time. Am I right, Auntie?
I knew you were a sharp one, xilonen. That's right. I have a way to cure Nechka and restore all her memories. It's actually quite simple. I want to forge an ancient name for Nechka that contains all of her past memories.
And the reason they must be approved by the Wyab is because the memories they bear are all stored within the ley lines. Extracting those memories from the ley lines requires the Wyab's assistance. But your plan wouldn't need you to do any of that, right, Auntie? Your blaze gem inscriptions will help you complete that part of your plan in the ley line's place. You will use the inscriptions to form a massive memory bank for Nechka. And the ancient names you're trying to forge will be used to extract corresponding memories from the memory bank.
A memory bank? Wait, so the reason all those people were having trouble remembering stuff is because the blaze gem inscriptions took away any memories related to Nechka?
Using other people's memories of Nechka to reconstruct her past? This is the first time I've heard of such an idea.
You've seen through my plans, xilonen. You're as outstanding as ever. Far more brilliant than me. I intend to use this method to collate all the memories related to Nechka and allow her to regain her past again.
But wouldn't extracting memories like that hurt the person carrying the blaze gem inscription?
Not at all. Every time a blaze gem inscription extracts memories, the process is under my precise control. That way, there's no chance of anyone in the tribe getting hurt. This is the central inscription that controls all the other blaze gem inscriptions, which will also soon serve as Nechka's ancient name.
You made all of this yourself, plus Oli?
Yes, it was lots and lots of work. It was truly exhausting. Or perhaps I've just grown old. You saw it yourself. I nearly fainted just from being in the sun. I could collapse tomorrow, or even in the next few moments. But Nechka's ancient name is still far from completion. I've solved the issue of storing memories, but I still don't know how to connect Nechka up to this central inscription.
I thought you just modify your own ancient name.
I considered it, but this matter doesn't have anything to do with my ancient name. It's of no help to me, and I don't need its help now.
You know the price to pay for making something like this.
Yes, I do. But as long as otherwise, Nechka won't have any chance of reclaiming. She won't remember me. When that time comes, she'll be left to drift around the world all alone. And she is my daughter, the one to whom I gave the Nechka name. Whether it be as her mother, or as an
xilonen!
I'll take the central inscription with me. I'm going to completely disassemble it to confirm its components and uses, and I won't make any promises until I've checked everything. Say goodnight to Nechka for me, Auntie.
Oh, wait. I've also finished the inscriptions for the Traveler in Paimon. Let me fetch them for you. I'm sorry it took me so long to finish them.
Hold on, Auntie. The Traveler and Paimon have never met Nechka before, so you can't draw any memories from them.
That wasn't my intention. They're just ordinary gifts. Please, take them.
Huh? What was that noise?
Nechka must have woken up and wants to get out of bed on her own. Sorry, I'll go check on her first. Nechka, don't try to get out of bed. Just tell Mom if you need anything.
You go ahead and take care of Nechka, Auntie. Let's go, Traveler and Paimon. There are a few... Let's head back to the tribe first. There are some things I need to get from my workshop. Disassembling the central inscription? It's not going to be easy. All right. You two can wait outside for a moment. I just need to go in and grab something. The workshop is a little messy, so unfortunately, I won't be able to show you around. Oh, yeah, that's not really what I mean. It's not the mess that's really the problem. It's just that the workshop is cluttered with way too much stuff. Books, files, and even ancient texts I got from the Masters of the Nightwind. Everything's piled up to the ceiling. You probably won't know where to step once you're inside. Kachina suffered quite an unfortunate series of events the last time she went inside. Well, I suppose it was my fault for being so focused on searching for information at the time that I forgot to lock the door. After entering the workshop, she was shocked to find herself face to face with a massive woven scroll from the Masters of the Nightwind, and then she turned around and knocked over a huge stack of forging blueprints. She tried to step out of the way, but tripped on a poster tube that was behind her, and then boom! The forging blueprints came crashing down right onto her head.
Oh no!
She's lucky I noticed in time. I found Kachina in a daze and managed to save her before an entire set of the history of the Children of Echoes was about to bury her. I then dragged her up to the second floor. Ever since then, Kachina always waits outside the door and doesn't dare take a step in whenever she comes to see me.
Yeah, you're an artisan and craftswoman after all. We thought there would be weapons and armor hanging all over the place. But it seems more like a library than a workshop.
Well, my primary work is forging ancient names, which is much trickier than making swords and tools. Aside from the necessary craftsmanship, I also need to you probably already know that each ancient name represents a certain spirit, behind which are in other words, the essence of an ancient name is the physical manifestation of a certain spiritual will. And as a name engraver, when I'm working on a new ancient name, I'm not only trying to give it a physical shape, but more importantly, I'm also trying to understand the spirit contained within the name. And to do that, I have to collect as many related stories as possible and read through them all. But, as you might know, people tend to add a lot of extraneous details when it comes to stories about themselves. For stories that have been clearly exaggerated or altered, I must gather other related stories and information as cross-references. This way, I can filter out all the absurd and exaggerated details and restore the person's life to its true nature. Only in true stories can you find the authentic spirit, and this is the only way for the spirit to become an ancient name that matches its essence.
We've heard about the concept behind ancient names before, but after hearing you explain the details, Paimon can't help but think that ancient names are really powerful.
Well, no matter how powerful ancient names could be, they would never be able to suddenly turn into a blade or allow you to smash through an entire cliff in one punch. It's just a form of spiritual power that's passed down from generation to generation. It doesn't have those kinds of physically tangible effects. Well, take your own names, for example. From the moment you appeared in this world, some person had already prepared a blessing for you, and that person then condensed this blessing into your name and gave it to you as a gift. It may feel like the moment you received your name is already in the past, but it will always stay with you and move with you in the future. Names are blessings for the future from people standing in the past. Well, that's what Auntie once told me. And with this blessing, people will become more confident as they walk into their future. To put it another way, it's like having a lamp in your hand as you walk through the darkness of night.
Oh, Paimon gets that. If you're alone when you're walking in the dark, it's easy to get scared and tired quickly. But if someone else is walking with you, then it won't be nearly as scary. And, well, you might still get tired, but it'll still be a whole lot better than walking alone. The Traveler always has Paimon by his side, though, so he'll never have to worry about that. Oh, Paimon sure many wish they could be in your shoes, Traveler. Paimon's always flying. Of course it gets tiring. But we're getting off topic. We can talk about that later.
Anyway, this is what Clisoli told me when I was training as a name engraver. And to be honest, I've only understood 20% of what she said at most.
But doesn't that mean you basically don't get it?
Well, that's not entirely true. Auntie and I have at least come to a consensus on the most important thing. Ugh, you know what? I am sick of talking. We can talk about all of this later.
Did you hear a whole section of something collapse in there just now?
It's fine, it's fine. It was just a bunch of very old ancient name records. I've already made copies of them. I kept this set of phlogiston wedges in the back, so it wasn't easy to take out. I had to resort to brute force. Come on, let's go disassemble the central inscription. Here we are. This is the place.
This cliff is pretty high. What are we going to do here? Are we going to climb to the very top and then throw this inscription down the cliff?
I'm going to use phlogiston to make an engraving circle on the cliff wall. That will allow me to investigate the Now let me see if this thing can even turn on. I was still an apprentice last time. Before we attempt to engrave the inside pattern of an ancient name with phlogiston, we always use this to draw out the engraving diagram on a cliff or open ground. Only after we've confirmed that phlogiston can flow properly through the internal engravings can we start formally working on the small internal engravings of the ancient name. If we want to dismantle the central inscription in a non-destructive manner, we'll have to use this thing. I really don't want to engrave such a large diagram with my bare hands.
Oh, so you'll be able to see what it looks like on the inside without ruining Tlasoli's inscription?
For the most part. If it were just an ordinary unfinished ancient name piece, I'd just take it apart and pour phlogiston into the internal engravings to see everything. But since it's a central inscription, it would be better not to destroy the blessing that Auntie has prepared for Nechka.
So, xilonen, does this central inscription fall under the 20% you understand about ancient names, or the other 80% you don't understand?
Oh, don't worry. As I said, Auntie and I share an understanding of the most important principle, which is names are intrinsically valuable. Only by having names can things be sorted and categorized. They allow the world to become more orderly and identifiable. For example, when I order ore, I would usually say I need volcanic crystals of about 35% purity and no more than 3% of impurities. Without specific names, I would only be able to go to the ore merchant and say, I want this and this. No, this isn't it. That one. No, not that one either. Yeah, you see what I mean? Names are a crucial part of how we standardize our workflow. Without names, the work would be impossible. Yes, because forging ancient names is first and foremost a technical job. There's no debating that. As for the question of why it's important, as long as it does not affect your ability to perform your work, you'll gradually understand it as you put the process into practice. After all, creating an ancient name is quite the complicated process. Well, let me break it down even further. We're not in the tribe right now anyway. Essentially, by forging ancient names, I'm assigning nicknames to the heroes in Natlan's history. Giving someone a name is a subjective expression. You just need to express your hopes and wishes for them. But giving someone a nickname is a much more objective expression. To come up with a fitting and accurate nickname requires much thought and observation. If ancient names or nicknames aren't descriptive enough, no one will remember them anyway. So the best I can do is gather all the information I could and try to come up with the most fitting nicknames possible. Even a minor mistake in the process could cause people to misunderstand the nickname. For a name engraver such as myself, such mistakes would be considered a major blunder.
Paimon isn't trying to come up with a nickname for xilonen. Besides, all of Paimon's nicknames have been very descriptive. Everyone can remember them.
Phew. Now I'm curious. Why don't you, come up with one for me?
Are you serious?
Of course. This is also my line of work, you know. Go ahead.
A nickname? Xilonen. Well, she uses phlogiston to forge weapons and make names for others. Smith?
Yeah, not bad, and quite fitting too. I'll remember it. But, you should keep observing my work, Paimon. Maybe you'll come up with an even better nickname. Right, okay. Time to make like a smith and start smithing. Watch closely. Adjust the inclination by 2 degrees. Stop. The error margin is within an acceptable amount, but I'll extend the inscription link a little more just to be... I'll leave some space here, and when the linked engravings are activated, the inscriptions here will overlap with each other. And there! That should complete the flow.
Amazing, Xilonen! You were running all over that cliff as if it was flat ground!
Oh no, it doesn't have anything to do with my tribe. It's just the, phlogiston adhesive I have on my shoes. But after all that running around, I'll have to infuse them with more phlogiston again. Huh. I should prepare a spare supply of phlogiston to bring with me next time. More or less, yeah. I usually have at least the key equipment on hand. I can show them to you when we next find the time, but let's get to work first. Let me see. Start with Anchor 1 and activate it with Density 3 phlogiston.
Whoa! A super huge diagram just appeared! Tlasoli's central inscription is even floating! So are you done checking the inscription, Xilonen?
I didn't find any anomalies in the phlogiston engraving. All the adjustments are indeed based on ancient name engraving techniques.
That means we can help Tlasoli and Nate.
Well, probably, but I have good news and bad news. Oh, but I'm also just going to go ahead and share both, so it's not like you'll...
Paimon will cover her ears after the good news.
Well, even if you cover your ears, the issue will still continue to exist. But, you know, what are your thoughts on absorbing memories? I knew you felt the same way, and that'll save me some initial explanation. It's, hard to control the absorption of memories. Technically speaking, this type of inscription has the power to do far more by herself. Auntie can't handle that level and scope of work, but if she has accomplices, it is completely possible.
Accomplices? You
Well, here's the good news. Yes, this blaze gem inscription would be the perfect tool to commit crimes, but we haven't found any accomplices or signs that she intends to put it to such uses. From a purely objective standpoint, we can consider that possibility as yet to be confirmed for now. The bad news is, there's still an underlying problem with this blaze gem. I believe I've mentioned this before. Ancient names operate with the help of the Wyab, granting them the power. In this process, the Wyab actually function like relays, helping the ancient name bearer sense the information from within the ley lines. If you remove the Wyab from the process and don't use any tools, then finding a specific story is akin to trying to scoop up a specific grain of sand from a rushing river. Yeah, exactly. Anyone who attempts to do so will likely lose most of their cognitive function or become a babbling madman who talks to themselves all day long. Now, let's consider the memories that Auntie has gathered as the ley line And, Nechka as the only ancient name bearer of this ley line. There's no way Auntie would let Nechka plunge into the river of memories without any tools. She'd only be overwhelmed by the surge of memories. And considering that Nechka has forgotten all of her past, she'll be unable to work on her own to accurately find the correct past. Only Aunt Tlisoli can help her filter the correct memories of her past. So, if my hypothesis is correct, Auntie is actually planning on turning herself into Nechka's Wyab to help her extract the corresponding memories in the different situations she may face. In an ideal world, this would be perfectly fine, as long as every extracted memory is correct. And I also believe that there won't be any mistakes in everything that Auntie remembers about Nechka. But Auntie is not a Wyab. Her body won't be able to handle the load for long.
But how can we solve this problem? No matter how we try,
Names are blessings for the future from people. I've also made up my mind.
Xilonen. It looks like...
Yes, here's some research that I've done. You can reference it. I'll also help you continue working on the Blaze Gem inscriptions. But I must have complete control over... The memories that can be absorbed by the inscription will be limited solely to Nechka's past. We'll plan a set time frame together from which the memories can be drawn from shortly. If you attempt to extract any memories beyond this scope, then I'll consider that as committing a criminal act and halt all work related to the central. After the memory bank is constructed, the Blaze Gem inscriptions, absorption functions, must be stopped immediately. Only functionalities for outputting memories will be kept.
I accept. Thank you, Xilonen. I really...
Auntie, you know I can't stand it when you do this. If you needed my help, you'd...
Using technology for ancient names to forge other things without permission.
Yes, it's a major departure from the technology's intended use, but it's nothing compared to a child who needs help. But once this is all over, you must come with me to see Pakal and discuss...
That's fine. I'm willing to accept...
All right, let's clear off the table and come up with a plan. I need some time to consider how to let Nechka control the Blaze Gem inscription on her own and extract the memories from her past.
How could I just hand her a birthday present that you specially brought? I've picked out a box and packaged it up. Wait till her birthday and then bring it to her. It'll be a nice surprise.
No, it's just an old book. There's no need to...
is Nechka up again? But what was all that noise? It sounded like something broke. Uh-oh. What if something fell on her?
Nechka, don't hurt yourself.
Xilonen, is that you? You're Nechka?
How many times have I told you? Don't get out of bed on your own. You were running a fever yesterday.
Hello, Nechka.
Thank you for the book. I've already read it several times. You've already read it? But didn't Tlisoli package up the book that Xilonen brought?
No. She's all mixed up. The one she read isn't from Xilonen. It's one I bought for her before. A few days ago, she told me she wanted a book. I know nothing about these kinds of books, so I had no choice but to go to the tribe and look for a copy. I eventually found one and bought it for her. I put it in her room once I got back. Soon after, she suddenly developed a fever. I was so busy taking care of her that I forgot about the book and even forgot that she had asked you for a gift.
Auntie, do you know which
Which version? The shopkeeper said it was the one with the perfect ending to the story. Apparently that's the only one you can find on the market now. Ugh.
It's all my fault. You wasted your...
Oh, it's all right. It's just a book. As long as Nechka enjoys it.
Oh, right. Nechka probably doesn't know us. You're Paimon and Mr. Traveler. Mom told me about you. Oh! Seems like everyone knows who we are now.
Nechka seems to be doing pretty well today, since she's been stuck indoors for the last...
Take her for a walk. But considering her...
Oh, don't worry, Auntie. She'll be safe. We won't leave the tribe, and if anything comes up, we'll be sure to find... Besides, it's her birthday in a few days, and we need to go to the tribe to buy some things. What do you think, Auntie?
I promise I'll be good, Mom. Didn't you say before that I need more fresh air?
All right. I also happen to have a few repaired Blaze Gem inscriptions that I need to get back to the tribe. We can go together. Wait for a moment. I'll go get Nechka's water bottle and some towels. Some medicine. Oh, and a parasol.
Talk about being prepared.
It doesn't hurt to be prepared. Okay, let's go. Please be good now, Nechka.
Oh, you can let me carry these. And don't be a stranger, Nechka. Feel free to tell us.
Yeah! It's not often you get to go out to play, so just have fun. Everything will be fine. Okay, thanks everyone. And please don't worry, Mom. I'll be good.
Let's go look for Igno. I've had her Blaze Gem inscription for a while now, and I'll finally return it to her today.